Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades and the weekly recap. Before I get into the weekly recap, if you're not in the room, you should be. You can find the link in the description of the video in the bio section of social media. Had a very good week. With that said, I think I ordered my thumbnails a little too early because I wasn't able to update the big winners for the thumbnail, but I should stop ordering them so fast until the end of the day Friday. I end up ordering them in the middle of the day Friday just so I have them for the weekly recap, but I'm gonna stop doing that. But anyways, I then finished the week with 22 wins and 4 losses for a win rate of 84.62%. So I did meet and exceed my 80% win rate for the week, so that's always good. I like seeing that. And out of the 22 winners, I had nine of them were 100% movers and more. So that's definitely good too. So I like having a lot of high percentage winners among my winners. So that ends up doing good. So with that said, you can go on to Twitter and you can look at the timestamps. That's why I post them on a daily basis, so you guys can see the timestamps of the plays in real time. Well, not real time, but that I placed in real time, and you can see them after the fact. Okay, so I did have a swing from last Friday going into Monday with 389 calls at 63 cents, and they went to $1.29. So what I've been doing is, now that the market is crushing VIX, it's gonna keep slowly grinding up until something happens, and that's just the way it's gonna be. And so we'll just play the overnight gaps, and 9 out of 10 times the market's going to gap up overnight. And what's been happening lately is that the SPY is trading in a very tight range, and the overnight gap ups end up being greater than the actual range itself some of the time. So we will play those. So I did grab the at the end of the day on Friday, 289 calls at 63 cents, which was right here, right around this. Yeah, 280, right underneath 288 area, right in here somewhere, and they opened up in the money, so they were up over 100% right there. So then that I grabbed Facebook calls, which actually was the first play of Monday, even though I had the overnight swing from the weekend. So which day is Monday? Right here. This Monday the 8th. Okay, I grabbed Facebook 277.50 calls at 91 cents. As you know, SPY was gapping up. I've been waiting the first 10 minutes, trying to be patient, and so it saw it quickly dip down, then it started to rebound, going over the 200 EMA, and I did grab the calls at 10:07, which would have been right here when it dipped down, and I grabbed it right when it broke over here, just to make sure it wasn't a fake out. So those calls went from 91 cents to $1.20. I thought that Facebook was going to make a big move, because where is Monday? Right here, I think. Yeah, because you can see right here it's flat topping right here in this 269 area. So I thought, it gets over this 269, this thing is just gonna rip. And I waited out the first 10 minutes, like I said, because of the fake outs. Because what's been happening a lot lately is a stock will look like it's going to break out right at open, then it will get slammed. So this way it was the other way around. So I was like, okay, when it dumped at the at open and it started to bounce back, and I was like, okay, maybe this will finally rip, but it didn't rip like I thought it would. It did on Tuesday, but yeah. So they went from 91 cents to $1.20 on that. So that was a small decent play. Then I had BAVA puts. BAVA, which day? Monday, right here. Now BAVA just, as everything was gapped up, BAVA gapped down. So I looked at BAVA puts at 10.19, which is right here. Now I got the 252.50 puts at 70 cents right here. I got it right when it started to break below here. Then it popped back up to VWAP. Then it finally dumped, and that's when I ended up getting out. So they went from 70 cents to 80 cents. Not much of a move. I think it killed the move when it popped up to VWAP and came back down, and also that 252 puts, and it's at 263. So Baba's like $10 plus out of the money. So that was too far out of the money to really have a big movement. So I mean, if it was like like in the like 260 puts, it probably would have gone probably 50%. But it is what it is. Mondays are expensive, and I don't like risking that much on Monday. So then I had SPY. Oh, SPY, not B SPY. I had SPY puts at 1051. Where are you? The 8th. Now, as we said, that SPY gapped up. Is this Monday right here? Yeah, gapped up, and it was rejecting pre-market high right there, and it just was chopping in this area. So I did grab the 390 puts at 76 cents at 1051, and that's right here. Now, as you can see, it was chopping around above VWAP. I'll blow it up from here to here. Now, obviously we get out when we held the overnight gap, but it was just chopping right around here. It started to break out right here and quickly just got shut down. You can see this is pre-market highs, and then it came back down to VWAP. I grabbed it right here. I didn't quite grab it right when it came through VWAP. I decided to wait until it was underneath these candles right in here, and that's when I ended up grabbing it. So the 390 puts, I also grabbed them in the money because of on expiration date. In the money puts on SPY are very, very cheap, and if SPY happens to chop, which it does like to do a lot, that theta won't wreck them as much. And so they went from 76 cents to $1.75 in this little drop, so that was a 100% move. So 200%ers on Monday, not a bad way to start the day. Then on Tuesday I had one win and one loss, and I grabbed the, let's see, I grabbed Facebook 275 calls at 86 cents at 235, actually on Monday, but I swung them overnight. So 246 is right here. Now, as you can see, Facebook just dumped, and it just consolidated right here, and it had a bullish divergence, so I grabbed it at 235, which would be right here, right over this area, and I grabbed it, and I posted that there's a possible overnighter, and then I held it overnight. Then Tuesday, those calls just ripped it open, so they ended up going from 86 cents to $2.66, which was a 150% move. Then I ended up grabbing, I had a swing on at 941, but I'll get into that after this next one. I had Facebook 277.50 calls at 95 cents. I got them at 1227, which was right 1227, which I think is right here. Yeah. I had the pullback. It bounced up to 200 EMA, so I thought, okay, we get through VWAP, this thing is going to go back to higher day, and it didn't. It just come back down and just chopped and just kept, dropping, coming back to VWAP, rejecting, and just finally said, okay, I just, whatever, it is what it is. So that was that my first loss of the week at that point in time? Let's see. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it was. Okay, that was the first loss. Then on Wednesday, obviously I had an overnighter. I had the let's see. Yeah, I had SPY. Now SPY I had bring it back up. Now I had SPY on Tuesday at where is Tuesday? The 9th, right there. Now I ended up buying, I have to look at Wednesday's stats. Actually, I can't see them. Yeah, they had 387 puts at 75 cents. Let me just look in the room to double check that. Let's see. Yeah, 387 puts at 75 cents. And that was a timestamp of 9:41. Okay, so what ended up happening was 9:41 on Tuesday. That was right at open. Yeah, right here, you know, because it gapped up. It started gapping down, and then when it tried to break out right here, and I thought, okay, we got this big candle right here. It broke below the pre-market lows right here, and it just did a quick little drop, and it just popped. So I was like, okay, whatever, and I decided to hold it, and as long as it stayed underneath this area of 390.50, I was okay with it. And then it came back down, and I was like, okay, it's gonna finally break right here, and it just didn't, and it just chopped, and it's just like whatever. I wasn't really having that great of a day, even though I only had like one win and one loss that day. I just for some reason I just was not having a good day, so I just like whatever. I'll just hang on to it. I should have cut it loose, but I didn't, and I did hang on to it. Now, I've been grabbing the overnight calls, like I've been doing the gap up. So this is why I had a put I just didn't want to let go, and I should have, but I didn't let it go. But it did work out. So I hung on to the put. Then I ended up grabbing calls. So I had like 387 puts, and just seeing what would happen, YOLOing them, I guess. And then I had the 392 calls. I got at 349 on Tuesday, which is right in this candle right here. I grabbed 392.48 for the gap up. Now the gap up worked out pretty good. The gap up went from 48 cents to 96 cents. So what I've been doing is I'll grab calls at the end of the day. Then right at open, if it gaps up, I'll take it immediately right at open, and I'll play the chart the rest of the day. So, and I'm glad I did that when I did, because they were, like I said, from 48 cents to 96. So it was almost 100% move. It was pretty close. I mean, I guess technically it was 48 and 48. Yeah, that's 96. That's 100% move. So yeah, I didn't have 900%ers. I had 10. If you want to be technical. So yeah, and then I had the big dump right here. So those 387 puts that I ended up having, that I hung on to on Tuesday, they actually end up turning green and going from 75 cents to $1.48. So they almost went 100% too. So I mean, I was only like 2 pennies away from that going 100%. So I mean, almost 11 plays out of 22, almost half my plays went almost 100% to 100% plus. So pretty consistent about that. So then I had Facebook puts at 10:04 on Wednesday. Make sure I have the right day here. Okay, that's the only problem about doing these weekly recaps sometimes, is that I get those days mixed up. So 10:04, I grabbed 265 puts at 72 cents. 204 right there on the 10th. As you can see, it popped up, started to come back down. This is what I'm talking about, the fake outs. It gets over pre-market high, the first 10-minute candle, and it quickly just gets slammed. As you can see, this was previous day's highs right here, the 273 area. Quickly got slammed down. I noticed that. I always wait the first 10-15 minutes out because of these fake outs. I mean, it happens almost every day. And once you get used to seeing them and seeing how these start, now that's why I always watch the same 10 or so stocks, because you know these things happen. You know what to expect. When you start playing other stocks you don't know how they're going to react. You don't know these fake outs. And that's why it's always important to just get familiar with 10 or so stocks and just stick to them. And they just work. It's like clockwork. And right here, I rejected the area, came back down. I waited for it to get below these candles right here through the VWAP, well, VWAPs right, but through the 20 EMA and the 37 EMA. So I grabbed them at 10:04 right in here, right when it broke below this area, right there. They went from 72 cents to $1.58 right there, which is a 100% move. He held all the way through. Then I ended up grabbing SPX puts at $1.70 on the 10th, right here. Now, SPX has been having a hard time over the 39.20 area. This is where it got rejected. Make sure I played the 38.90 puts at $1.70 at 149, which would be right 149 right in here. This candle right here. As you can see, it started to pop up. I did notice there was like an ascending wedge happening right here. So I was also thinking, okay, if it rejects below this candle right here, I'll grab it. So, and they did go from 38.90s, because he's thinking right now it's 39.10. I mean, all it did was go down a few points, and they just went from $1.70 to $2.50. So these SPX, that the moves don't need to be that much, and they can move violently. So I did grab it right there at the let's see, I'm looking at the next play. The last play I had on Wednesday was 38.90, the same ones, the same puts. I grabbed them at 208, which was right here, I think. Now, when I had this big candle, I got out. You know, when you play an SPX and you get them at $1.70 and you're up like 50, 60 cents, take your money. I mean, because they can quickly reverse or chop on you, and like it did right here. It started to drop down. It came back up. It stayed in the in this like a little EMA area. Then they had this candle down. It looked like it was coming down right here, right when I saw that they were at the cheaper than where I got it. And I was going to go in again and thinking, okay, we're going to actually dump this time and come back down to the 3900 area, because these big round numbers act as magnets. So when it started to come down right there, it reversed. I mean, just didn't work out. So then it actually did dump. Now, if I bought them right here, those puts would have been a lot higher, but I would not have gotten the 38.90. I would have gotten probably the 39.05 or 39.10. When it's on expiration day, you need to adjust for theta and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I was expecting, when I saw a break below here, the last one, play of the day, put of the day on Wednesday, I thought it was actually going to fall apart more, but it didn't really reverse. So that ended up being a loss, and that ended up being let's see, my second loss for the week. Now on Thursday, I ended up playing, I had 5 winners on Thursday. Now Thursday I had SPY calls. Now were they the overnighters? Yeah, they were the overnighters. I got them at 347. Okay. The 11th. Okay, right there's Wednesday right there. As you can see, at 311, I think it was. Was it 311? 347. I grabbed them. I grabbed the 392 calls at 347, which was right in here, this candle, and it gapped up. So gapped up close to in the money. They were 98 cents and they went to $1.38. I actually thought they would have been worth a little more than that. I was a little disappointed. I remember saying something in a room that's it. I was expecting them to be like $1.50 or something, but this 392 area is going to be something we're talking about in a little bit. I mean, it just keeps getting close in this over 391.50 to 392. It just keeps getting rejected. So, and obviously Friday was, we'll get into that in a second, but Friday ended up breaking that. So those overnight calls went from 98 cents to $1.38. Now, like I said earlier in the video, that the SPY likes to gap up 9 out of 10 times. There's really nothing happening in the market right now that's going to scare it right yet, unless there's some kind of overnight news or a surprise happens. That's going to, I think that's the only thing that's going to really bring down the market. I mean, right now the market is just going to have narrow ranges and keep gapping up and keep grinding up until something happens, and that's how we're going to play it, and we're going to stick to it like that. So I grabbed Tesla calls on let's see, on Thursday. Tesla's just been getting beaten down. I grabbed 870 calls at $2 at 9:36, right near open. I waited the first 5 minutes or so for the options to adjust and prices to get better, and then I didn't end up getting the 870 calls way outside of money. I don't really like going that far out of the money, so so those 870 calls went from $2 to $3.05 on that little push right there. Then I ended up grabbing Apple. Let's see. Dust my keyboard. Apple. I had Apple puts at 950 on the 11th right here. Apple has just been like trending down. It rejected and it dropped, and right here it popped up rejected. So I grabbed the 135 puts at 81 cents at 950, which is right here in this candle. So I grabbed it right in here. Yeah, I grabbed it in this candle when it broke pre-market lows. They went from 81 cents to $1.63. As you can see, it did the same thing. It popped up, had the fake breakout, making it look like it was going to break out. And this is where it had trouble the day before, the 136. So you always get to look at the previous day's resistance and support, because they end up playing a big role in the chart. So that I did see, and I saw it quickly reject. I mean, that's a big red candle right there, like a big middle finger right there. We're not breaking out. So they went from 81 cents to $1.64, so that was another 100% mover. Then I had SPY puts at 11 o'clock on the 11th. Now this 291 area just keeps getting shut down. Let's see, I grabbed 388 puts at 84 cents at 11 right here, I think. Yeah, right in here. Now, same thing. It dropped. I was in Tesla and dealing with Apple at the time, so I saw that it did that, popped up a little bit, then it came back down. We tested the low of day, so I grabbed it right there. Actually, in this candle right here, I grabbed it 388 puts 84 cents, and it popped up to VWAP, quickly rejected and got slammed. So they went from 84 cents to $1.92 right there. So another 100% mover. I mean, you can see it's making lower highs, and it's just the downward pressure is just too great, and it just ended up falling through. So that ended up working out well. So then I ended up grabbing SPY calls at let's see, 81 cents. I grabbed 391 calls at 81 cents at 113, which is right here. No, 113. Right in here, right there. Right there. As you can see, it had big green, big red candles right here. Then it started to consolidate. Had a big wick right here. It's wicking right here. So when it broke above these candles right here, that's why I ended up grabbing them. They were 81 cents, and they popped up to the 20 EMA. So I decided to say okay. So they went from, actually almost went into the money. So they went from 81 cents to $1.05 in this push right here. Then I ended up grabbing and I actually said in the alert that could be a potential overnight swing at that point, just in case it decided to chop. And as long as it stayed below the stayed above the 388.50 area, that I would hold it. It did stay above the 388.50 area, so obviously this little push, I grabbed it and got some out. When you're up like 20 cents, especially with SPY staying in $1, $2 range, you just you get to take your money when you can. But I did end up grabbing an overnighter later in the day. Let's see. I ended up grabbing the 392 calls at 50 cents at 350, which is right here. That was the overnighter for Friday, and as you can see, Friday, it just didn't work out. Now, I ended up dumping it in the morning, thinking that okay, I grabbed it here. It didn't. We had a big green candle right here, and this is where I ended up getting out. Then I thought we were actually going to get slammed. So. But it didn't, and that ended up working out, and they actually went in the money and ended up being a good winner, but I didn't take the win. I ended up taking a loss on it, so it is what it is. So, I mean, as you can see, when it popped up, it just was having a hard time with this white line. The white line is the previous day's close, and as you can see, it respects it, it rejects it, then it holds it as support right there. So you can tell that was a big area, that 390.70 area. But yeah, that overnight play I had, it was a loss for me, but I know some of the room held it, and actually they made money on it, so congrats to them. That's why it's always important to trade your own plan and not follow me blindly, because sometimes I do make mistakes. I'm not perfect, and that was a loss for me, but a gain for some. And on Friday, I ended up having 8 wins and 2 losses, and obviously one of the losses I just talked about was the overnighter from Thursday to Friday, the 292 calls. So, and this 292 area has been the area that's been tough. Actually, you can see right in this 291.50 area, 292. I mean, that's where it's been like having a hard time and struggling. So that's why I kept saying in the room that it's not going to be able to get over this 392 unless it gaps up overnight. So, and it's been sitting there and rejecting it from almost the entire week. And I was also looking at, okay, on the hourly, you look on the hourly, you get a head and shoulders, you get the left shoulder, you get the head and the right shoulder. So I was thinking that if it did end up breaking down on Friday, which is one of the reasons when I got out when it didn't gap up, that I thought it was going to be weak and just get slammed, and that was just wrong about that. But anyway, so the actual first play on Friday was I had Facebook puts. At Facebook puts at 9:38. I had the 267.50. Puts at 67 cents right here. I grabbed them at what was the timestamp? 9:38. Right in here, as you can see, it started to pop up, quickly rejected, came back down, pushed through, got it right there. They went from 67 cents to 81 right there, so that was a quick little thing. And Facebook was just chopping. I mean, it just was ridiculous, and I just didn't want no part of that. Then I end up seeing Tesla has been getting just hammered on, so I didn't really want to playing Tesla puts. I just didn't want to, but it's just this 800 area, when it started to break down, I just was like, okay, I'll take the chance. So at 9:47, I grabbed the 760 puts at $1.42. What time was it? 9:47, so it was in this candle right here. And as you can see, it dropped down and came back up. I was actually thinking about grabbing the puts right here, but the prices were expensive and they were all over the place, so I just decided to wait. Came back up, rejected the this 806 area, which was acting as support the previous day, so and in pre-market. So when it did reject that, I ended up grabbing the 760 puts at $1.42, and then went to $2.49 in that little dump. Then I ended up playing QCOM. Now QCOM, I was watching it over the 146 area, and I just like, okay, I'd grab it, but I was kind of a little skeptical on it because QCOM has been bleeding a lot lately, as you can see on the hourly. It just can't get out of its own way. So I did grab the 147 calls at 55 cents at 1024, which is right here. I grabbed it late. I think I was looking at this area right over here the previous day. So I did grab it right there. They went from 55 cents to 81, so that was a quick little push on QCOM. A little hesitant about it, but I just said, okay. I mean, it's at 146.60 at the time, or 148.50ish. 147 calls were 55 cents. I mean, you're 50 cents outside the money. I mean, all it needs to do is push 50 cents plus, and those things are going to almost double. So they did go from 55 to 81. So they didn't quite double, but they went 26 cents, if my math is correctly off the top of my head. Yeah, 26. Then I ended up grabbing Tesla calls. Now, Tesla was getting beat down as we took the puts in the morning. And anytime that Tesla has these big red candles, like these big massive red candles, and I was thinking, okay, I think that I saw somewhere, or someone said in the room, that the open interest on 800 puts were really, really high. So, and I was like, okay, they're not going to close it under 800. So when it got down here into the 787.50 area, I'll grab them. So I grabbed 805 calls at $2. Now, I did notice that, you know, you're not that far out of the money. You're talking, let's say we're at 387, and 805 is right here. I mean, on Tesla to make a 15-point move is really not much for Tesla. So whenever calls are fairly cheap with it, especially, like, I was also looking at this. This was the higher day, 806, and we're down here. So it's not that far away. It's quite doable to come into a double top. So those Tesla calls went from $2 to $12.35 if you held the entire move. I don't know if anyone actually held the entire move, but they did go in the money right here. So it was a really substantial move. I was not expecting that to happen, but even if you held it all the way through, it was choppy right in here. Theta probably ate it to death right in here, but this last end of the day push was what sent the calls to $12.35. So the next one was SPY puts at because I grabbed the, let's see, I grabbed the Tesla calls before I switched to SPY at 1036 right here, right in this candle. That's exactly where I grabbed it, right there. Then I grabbed SPY puts. I just went crazy yesterday. I mean, I was on my game, and I was doing well, so I kept going and kept going and kept going. As long as I was doing well, I just kept going. So I ended up playing like 9 plays or something, 10 plays yesterday. So 391 puts at 60 cents at 1045. Right here, right on this little push right down here. Rejected this RCT trend line and started to come down. So I grabbed them right there. And they went from 60 cents to 88 in that quick little dump. But then it just quickly reversed. So I was able to get in and out on SPY. And SPY, like I said, been saying, SPY's only been trading in a range of $1 or $2 anyway. So then I ended up grabbing Baidu. Now Baidu had a run. I saw this big run right here, and I saw it wicking right here above 318. So I ended up grabbing the Baidu 310 puts at 1217, which was right here. It was wicking, and then I was looking at the hourly. This 320 area rejected it couple days ago, so that's a big area. So when I saw these two wicks, and I saw the 320 area getting rejected, 318 area getting rejected, that's when I ended up grabbing it right there. So those 310 puts, I was not too happy about grabbing 310 puts. They're Baidu has been one of those ones where the spreads are really, really bad, and you have to trade carefully when you're getting into options. So I didn't want to grab the 310, so I did grab them because they were priced at 71 cents. The 305, the 315s were too pricey, so I just went with the 310s and got them at 71 cents, and this little drop was went to 92 cents. So it did provide a quick little drop right in here. So that did end up working out well. Baidu, just to get in and out because it was too far out of the money. If you sit and wait for the big move, and it chops, and it does, even like this little stuff right here, even though it's going down, it's still chopping. It will kill it because it's outside the money, out of the money. So that's the downside of playing expiration days on Fridays. Is that even if you're right and it's chopping, but it's chopping towards the downside, you're still gonna lose. So then I had NVDA. NVIDIA had news, and I grabbed it in this candle. Let's see what was the timestamp. 12:57. I grabbed 595 puts at 50 cents. Right in here. I heard the news on the option squawk, so I grabbed it. I didn't chase it immediately because it just came back down, and I got slammed really harsh. And every time I chase these big drops like that, I end up getting screwed. So when I heard the news and I saw the big drop, I saw it started to come back up. I did end up grabbing it when it was retracing or starting to bounce, and I grabbed the 595 puts at 50 cents, and they ended up going to $5 on this big little dump right down here. So they were 1,000%. So yeah, even when the Tesla calls from $2 to $12.35, they were 600%. Then the NVIDIA puts with 50 cents to $5, that was 1,000% move. So I just had a lot of big winners. Then I had Facebook. Now Facebook has been one I've been watching, especially at the end of the day on Fridays, and I'll tell you why. And it's not about the size of the push. It's actually where the price is sitting next to the option. Now I grabbed 270 calls on Facebook at 14 cents at 308. I'll pull it up to the 3-minute chart so we can actually get a close-up of it. I grabbed it at 308, which is right, where is 308? Right in here. Right here, right there. Now, there were 14 cents, okay? And you're going to look at, I'm looking at, it's 269.20-ish at this point in time. And the calls are 270. So you're 80 cents out of the money. Anytime that Facebook is within $1 or less, especially closer to the, I mean, if the at the money calls are 270 and it's trading at 269.20, that's 80 cents from going in the money. So when it's close to being in the money, when they're at the money, that's when I like to look. And I like, especially if it's $1 or less on stocks like BA or Facebook, that all it needs to do is just go 50 cents and they will go 200%, just especially at this end of the day on Friday moves. And that's what I ended up doing. So I ended up grabbing the 308. At 308, I ended up grabbing 270 calls at 14 cents. And it started to retrace here, and it actually went down to, I think, like 5 cents or something. It might have even gone lower than that. I don't really remember. But then they didn't really go green again until right in here, right towards VWAP. Then it just exploded. So, yeah, those 14 cents went from, I mean, the 14 cents went to $1. So they went 600%. Now you can also see that they were 269.20 and they went to 270.75. So you're talking $1.50 move, and they went almost they went 600% just on that little end of the day play. And you see them all the time, especially on end of the day Fridays. Where's what was Friday? Right here. Did it have it on this last Friday? Yeah. No, it didn't, because it was trading at, I think I actually took the puts last Friday right there. I don't remember. I'll have to look, but I'm not going to look right now. But yeah, anytime on the end of the day plays on Friday, That's the thing I look at. I'm always looking at like Facebook and BA, looking at these. Okay, it's close. It's under a. It's within $1 at the last half an hour of the day, and a slight push will skyrocket them. So I always look for those, and those end up being the biggest winners. And that was a big winner. So that was another big winner, 600% mover if you held all the way through. Now SPX was the last loser of the week and a dumb play, but actually it wasn't really kind of dumb. I had a reasoning behind it. Now 392. Actually, I'll pull up SPY. SPY is easier to chart. I had the 396. I had 390.20 puts at 346. Now, like I was saying earlier, this whole 392 area, 391.50, has been quickly getting shut down. It gaps up to 392 and gets shut down. 391.50 shut down. So I grabbed the 39.20 puts at 35 cents, right at what time was it again? Blow this up. Looking on Twitter, 346. Okay, let's bring it down to the 3-minute. 346. Right there. This is exactly where I grabbed it. Had this big run up, and you had this red candle right here, and it was rejecting right at that sweet spot of 392. So rejected there and had the red candle right there. So I grabbed those puts right there, thinking, okay, this is going to get slammed. I'm going to have another big monster play at the end of the day on top of Facebook. And it didn't. It just ripped. I mean, it's been rejecting this area all week long since Monday. It just rejected it all week long, and it just cut through it like it was nothing. And I was just like, okay. So I did not see that coming. I did not expect it to just blast through that 392 area on SPY, and it just did. I was not expecting it. I just saw this. I saw that going into heavy resistance, and it couldn't break it during the day. Couldn't gap over it at night. I didn't think it was going to go at the end of the day Friday. We're going to get slammed down to at least I was thinking down to the 391.30 area, or even the 391.60 area, but I was not expecting this monster rally at the end. So I got caught off guard, and that was my last loss for the week, and actually my fourth loss for the week. So that was my reasoning behind grabbing the puts on the end of the day on Friday. So had a lot of big winners this week. Now Monday is closed for President's Day, so trading is closed, but futures will be open. And what usually happens, I should say, is when the market's closed, they like to mess with the futures on Monday and gap them up, and that's when they end up doing a lot of manipulation. Now, I'm not saying that SPY will gap up. It could not. Who knows? We'll have to see what happens. But next week's going to be a short week. Monday's off, so just a 4-day week. So Tuesday will be an expiration day, Wednesday and Friday, if I'm correct. So yeah, that's going to do it for the weekly recap. I hope this has helped and gave you some insight to what I'm doing, why I picked the areas I did, and why I took the trades I did. Now, I made a couple dumb mistakes. One of them was obviously holding those puts I should have stopped out of, but they ended up turning green and ended up working out. So yeah, it is what it is. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the video, and that's gonna do it. See ya.